What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my NXT and AEW, that's WWE and Dynamite. I know I'm switching up. It's AEW Dynamite, WWE NXT, Wednesday night rivalry, reaction, recap, and review. We are getting ready, looking back at what was probably the hardest, the most difficult Wednesday night to call. Probably the rivalry so far. Scoreboard so far, in case you're curious, is 4 for AEW, 3 for NXT, and we've got ourselves. We'll get into it, and I'll give out the awards towards the end. So I don't need to change my hair, guys. Y'all in the chat are telling me fix my hair. My hair looks great, glorious. I've got the alfalfa going. It's fine. I don't care. Anyway. As you guys can tell, chat's going on. I would do this on twitch.tv/Murpho. Come on by and drop a follow if you'd like. Let's do our recap of the show. So NXT and AEW started off liquid fire hot. Becky Lynch shocked everybody by coming out of her dressing room in NXT and kicking off the show and saying that it's been a while and she's come to beat somebody's ass. And then Rhea Ripley answers the challenge. We start off NXT with Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. A dream match. A women's dream match. Like, mind blown. I'll say it right now. Moment of the night goes to this start with Becky Lynch coming out, surprising everybody to kick off NXT. They both had a really good match, solid match, one of my favorite matches of the night. Good back and forth. Rhea got some really good shine here, holding her own against Becky. And then, of course, you know, because this kind of thing can't end clean, we get a lot like all the women showing up. I believe it was the women from SmackDown showed up first because, you know, Becky's from Raw, Rhea's from NXT. They attack. Then no, Shayna Baszler actually came out first and attacked Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley, you know, is going up against Shayna Baszler, Team Baszler at Takeover War Games, the War Games match. So then Team SmackDown comes out, then some members of Raw come out, and then I believe we had Io Shirai have a. Oh, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is actually, I believe, what happened with Kaylee Ray and Dakota Kai. I'm mixing that stuff up. But there was interference and craziness that happened. I believe some women from other shows got involved. Still amazing start to NXT. Over on AEW, we had Nick Jackson versus Ray Phoenix. I didn't know what to expect from this match, but these guys went absolutely bonkers. They killed each other on this match. They turned it up to 11. Hot opener. Hot as hell. Ray Phoenix has some of the best balance in all of professional wrestling that I've seen. And the stuff he was doing off the ropes was crazy. Nick did some stuff off the ropes. There was one time where Phoenix slipped, but they recovered it very well, very nicely. And Ray Phoenix, I don't know if he's ever done this move before. I've just never seen it. He hit the sickest finisher I've ever seen of a muscle buster into like a driver, a muscle buster driver. Picked Nick Jackson up into a muscle buster and then was able to turn him around and give him a sit out driver, almost like a Michinoku kind of driver. It was gross. 1, 2, 3, hot opener. Nick Jackson goes to try and shake Phoenix's hand. He just powders out and does a diamond symbol because I guess he's DDP now. And so both shows started off amazingly hot. Then we went over to, it was going to be Kona Reeves versus Matt Riddle. And poor Kona Reeves. I'm waiting for Kona Reeves to get his fair shake in NXT. It looked like it might be tonight, but it was not tonight. Ricochet comes out with the surprise. There were surprises galore on NXT tonight. Lots of returning superstars. Lots of superstars just all over the place. This was the go-home show for War Games and Survivor Series for NXT. So they pulled out all the stops tonight. And we end up getting Ricochet versus Riddle. It was a night of dream matches tonight for NXT. And that was another match that went really well, was really strong. Then it was, of course, broken up by interference again. Because, you know, you got to make each guy look strong. You can't You got to build the storyline. So like the wrestling for NXT while it was good in-game, we didn't get a lot of great clean finishes tonight, just because of the fact that, it's a go-home show, trying to protect people, gotta run the interferences, and all that stuff. All that jazz, all that goodness. I can't remember, I believe it was Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro of Team SmackDown who came out and interfered in the matchup. Meanwhile, on the NXT side, we got Dr. Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida. This was a good match. I want to say, when I mentioned my rankings for best match at the end, like, every single match here was good. There was not a bad match tonight. And Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida was solid. It was good, but it wasn't, like, super entertaining, like, super hot, like, compared to everything else. It wasn't. It missed that kind of like spark of excitement that I had for most of the other matches on the night, and it ended with Hikaru Shida actually beating Britt Baker. I think that's Britt Baker's second loss in a row, because she lost to Bea Priestley. So Britt Baker's on a bit of a losing streak. Meanwhile, Hikaru Shida putting herself in a good spot. She is arguably, I believe, in between the ropes, the best wrestler, female wrestler that AEW has. So I would love to see her face off against Riho for the AEW Women's Championship. Then we got a weird Dark Order vignette that I kind of liked. It was this guy who was overweight, rejected. He was made fun of at a subway stop. Gets in the subway, and there's this really cool, almost like uplifting, motivational message. And then it turns into like, join us, listen to us, follow us. You know the way. Survive, escape the chaos, and join the Order, the Dark Order. And it ended up being a Dark Order promo with very uplifting, motivational speaker type talk. Very interesting. I'm digging it. I like to see where it's going. I'm intrigued. It's got my It's got my curiosity. We'll see if it grabs my attention. Footballers saying that Britt Baker is not very good. Sadly, she's got work to do in the ring. I feel like she's got room for improvement. She's not quite. I don't think she's as good or as exceeded or met the lofty expectations that AEW had for her at the start. But I can definitely see her being a future AEW Women's Champion. She just got to develop more. Meanwhile, over on NXT, we got the Undisputed Era versus the Revival. This was a long match. This went on for, I think, a half an hour, 45 minutes in the middle of the show. It started out really slow, really plodding. Like, I was not enjoying this match, but then when it got to the very end, and by not enjoying this match, I don't mean it was bad. What was going on at AEW at the time was a lot more, like, exciting. This was a very slow, methodical, psychological kind of match with back and forth. It almost felt like there was something off, because you know that both these guys can bring that high-octane energy. Turns out they were saving it for the last 5-10 minutes of the match, and they absolutely killed it. It went from being the match where I was like, oh, I'm really excited. It was a roller coaster. I was like, I'm really excited for this match. This match kind of, it's not bad, but it's not like meeting the lofty expectations I had for it. And then it was like, oh my God, this is everything I wanted it to be and more. This was amazing. Very good, solid match. Then we got, I believe it was the Battle Royal was next, which was a solid Battle Royal. The last two remaining superstars will face each other next week for a diamond ring, apparently. And Jungle Boy got some really good shine. We got some good shine out of badass Billy Gunn in this one. He had a famouser on MJF. We thought he was going to get eliminated, but it did not. There was a great Orange Cassidy segment, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy getting involved with Billy Gunn and then getting dumped out by MJF. MJF making good on the nuclear heat. Then it looked like Jungle Boy was going to end up going one-on-one with Hangman Page to find out who was going to be the last person, but MJF got dumped out under the bottom rope, was eliminated, so he just grabbed Jungle Boy, who had at that point already gone over the top, and pulled him out. And there you go. We've got MJF and Hangman Adam Page next week. Hangman Adam Page, who is no longer a member of the Elite, by the way, if you haven't watched Being the Elite this week. He officially left. Then we got Kaylee Ray versus Dakota Kai over on NXT. It was a solid match. Nothing too spectacular, but, you know, Kaylee Ray and Dakota Kai, they both had a very good back and forth. Dakota Kai really brought the fire. You really felt the frustration and desire to prove herself in Dakota Kai. A nice little not look back, but I can't think of the word, but Dakota Kai basically did shades of last week by throwing Kaylee Ray into the steel steps, same steel steps that Kaylee Ray threw Dakota Kai into last week. Hangman Page versus Adam versus MJF and Wardlow. I think it's just MJF with Wardlow, and Wardlow will be in MJF's corner. Breezy. Anyway, it was a good match. This is the one that ended in the brawl where I think Team SmackDown came out, then Team Raw. We ended up getting then both teams from the War Games match came out. We got an awesome, amazing standoff between Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, who used to be a tag team, used to be friends in NXT, and then it got cut off by Sarah Logan. Still looked really good. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Great post-match segment for a solid match. Meanwhile, AEW got its high spot when we had the announcement from Les Champions. I liked how they had picture in picture with him and Hager going through the back, talking to people, cutting on people. They actually played into that again, the segment by segment storytelling here. He was making fun of Marco Stunt at the beginning, and that ties into the promo. We had a great promo. Oh, you mean it's basically a 2-on-1? Okay, with MJF, Hangman Page, and Wardlow. Yeah, that's fair. Jericho comes out with Hager. He can't say the word sorry for his tantrum, not for losing, but for his tantrum. Can't say the word sorry, so he gives the mic to Hager, or holds the mic to Hager, and Hager speaks his first words, which is he's sorry. Or he is sorry, or he's saying he's sorry. So Hager's first words are basically speaking and saying the word sorry for Jericho, because Jericho cannot bring himself to say sorry. A+ promo work right there. I loved it. It was hilarious. Then SCU came out with Scorpio Sky, and if this wasn't a star-making moment for Scorpio Sky, oh man, Scorpio Sky killed it on the mic. I knew he was good with promos based on what I've seen of him with the rest of SCU and being the Elite, but I've never seen him work a mic in a ring in a promo segment like this. Well, I haven't seen it period, but he handled it with he did a masterclass on the mic. It was wonderful. He was talking about how why Jericho didn't apologize that he lost Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky is the first person to pin Chris Jericho, and then in a hilarious bit, SCU reverse psychology tricks Jericho into Jericho finishing off. Well, actually, before I say this, Jericho's big announcement, by the way, was a Thanksgiving. What was it? The Thanksgiving Feast of Thanks or Celebration of Thanks, hosted by Les Champions, where it's basically going to be a party celebration kind of thing for Thanksgiving. So they tricked Jericho into challenging Scorpio Sky one-on-one after the celebration next week. And then they tricked him into making it an AEW championship match. So tag team champion Scorpio Sky, who killed it on the mic, tricks Chris Jericho and gets an AEW championship opportunity. And it is a match I never knew I wanted, but I want it, and I'm looking forward to it. Scorpio Sky, he just had a star-making promo there. I cannot wait to see what Scorpio Sky is going to do in the future for AEW. I want him to win the AEW championship now. Most likely is not going to happen. Probably not going to happen until at least SCU gets the championships off of him. But who knows? Maybe AEW decides to do something crazy and decides to make him the first ever double champ. Well, we will see. I highly doubt it, but we'll see. A+ promo. Jericho and Undisputed Era come out, or not Undisputed Era, Inner Circle come out, beat down SCU. I believe it was, I can't remember who, somebody tried to make the save initially, and it wasn't working, and it didn't work. They got cut off. Then Marco Stunt tried to make the save because he got upset with Jericho for what Jericho was doing to him in the promo. So then Jungle Boy came out to defend Marco Stunt, and then Luchasaurus came out to defend both of them. And we got a great standoff between Jake Hager and Luchasaurus. And there's another match. This segment had two matches that I never know I needed, but now I need them. And now we got a tease of Jake Hager versus Luchasaurus, which is not scheduled for next week. Hasn't been scheduled. It was just a tease, but I can't wait for it to finally happen. That was it. Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler tried to come out, and they got quickly cut off. Nakazawa. I'm not going to do it. I did it for like 30 seconds during the watch party. I'm not going to do it that long because I know you people will lose patience out there on YouTube VODland. Anyway, then we went right into Luchasaurus versus Peter Avalon, which was just a quick squash match win for Luchasaurus. Poor Peter Avalon. I really hope that that they do something with him and Leva Bates, because the librarian thing is starting to get a little old. I do like that Avalon works a good gimmick, but right now he's like a jobber, and Leva's kind of a jobber, so there's all that stuff. Nakazawa. Footballers in the chat. Then we go over to back over to NXT, and we had the Viking Raiders versus the Forgotten Sons. I didn't think this match was going to be that good. I'm not that high on Forgotten Sons, but I'm high on Wesley Blake. The other two Forgotten Sons, not too high on. But this was a surprisingly good match. We got to again see the Viking Raiders and NXT again, who were formerly War Raiders, do their thing. There were cartwheels galore. There were big men flying. The handspring double elbow was hit, and the Viking Raiders eventually won. It was a solid match, and I enjoyed it. Good. Pretty much all I have to say. I can't remember if there were post-match shenanigans for this one. If there were, please let me know, guys, in the chat. Then, meanwhile, we go over to AEW, and we had Private Party versus Proud and Powerful. This was a really good match. Great match. I want to say that it's one of my best matches tonight, but there were so many good matches tonight. Like, everything was just so good. Nice little tribute by Proud and Powerful and by Private Party. They honored Matt Travis. For those of you who don't know, Matt Travis was a rising star in the indie wrestling community. Both members of Private Party and Proud and Powerful knew him. He actually trained, I believe, members of Private Party. So Private Party wore his initials on wrist tape. I believe it was Santana came out with his Rest in Peace shirt on. He then laid it over the ropes and pointed to it so the hard cam could see it. Private Party did a respectful tap on it. The crowd chanted for Matt Travis. It was a beautiful moment. Rest in peace, Matt Travis. It's a damn shame that he was taken before he could blow up, because everything I've been hearing from him, from my friends who knew him who were in the indie scene, he had a really bright future ahead of him that was stolen from him. Anyway, Private Party and Proud and Powerful put on a hell of a match. There was an iffy situation where it looked like the ref was going to count 3. Ortiz didn't kick out, and I think Santana grabbed the ref's leg, but he didn't like pull it too hard, and you couldn't see it from the camera angle. It almost took the crowd out of it. The crowd ended up being dead after that for a while, but then the finish brought them back in the most beautiful gin and juice I've ever seen. I believe it was Santana who took the pinfall. He bumped that like a madman. A+ bump and sell. 1, 2, 3. And then we had more of a brawl, where just more of Inner Circle came back out. Basically, Sammy Guevara came out after it was actually Nick Jackson came out and I believe attacked. Nick Jackson came out and attacked Santana and Ortiz because Santana and Ortiz started beating down Private Party after they lost, I believe. We're teasing the sock with the baseballs. Or it was Nick Jackson. I know they were teasing that during the match while it was distracted. Nick Jackson came out, caused the distraction, which led to the finish of the gin and juice. Sorry if I'm misremembering. Like this, I'm recording these immediately after the shows have happened. And so then Nick Jackson was celebrating, and Sammy Guevara comes out, takes out Nick Jackson, and he's vlogging it. He's vlogging it. He's vlogging what the beatdown he's given. Then he's coming in with Proud and Powerful to beat down Private Party, but Dustin Rhodes comes in to make the save. Dustin Rhodes gives an inverted atomic drop to Sammy Guevara, who sells it and still vlogs. A+ comedy right there. I love it. A+ stuff there. Then he takes Dustin Rhodes takes down Guevara and then takes the phone and like vlogs into the phone, takes it over, throws it to the ground. Celebration with all the faces and Private Party. They show the wrist tape from Matt Travis again. Very good. our rest in peace once again to Matt Travis. Then we get to the main events of the evening. I'm going to start off with AEW because NXT was crazy. We had Darby Allin versus John Moxley. Darby Allin had a nice vignette where he went to a rock show with a Mox body bag, had the band put him in the body bag, and then crowd surfed him. He got brought out. It was like a big time field match. Got brought out onto the stage in the Mox body bag, zipped out by about 6 people, which was awesome. Then Mox came out through the crowd. These two beat the hell out of each other. Good match, really good match, solid match, lots of good stuff. And then Moxley just can't put away Darby. So he does one of the grossest paradigm shift double arm DDTs I've ever seen. Avalanches it off the second rope, and I legit thought he didn't get like his arm placed in time to protect Allin. I thought he almost broke Allin's neck. But he's fine. He was fine. They took the bump fine. It was just scary. And that's a hell of a way to put over Darby Allin that Mox couldn't do it. It didn't just take a normal paradigm shift, but an avalanche one to put down Darby Allin. Darby Allin, just like Scorpio Sky, he's going to be a star for years to come for AEW. Meanwhile, on NXT, we had Dominik Dijakovic and Adam Cole, baby. Just murder each other in a ladder match. Solid, good ladder match here. Really entertaining. Ended with Adam Cole. Adam Cole at one point actually hit the Panama Sunrise, jumped off the ladder, and then caught Dijakovic and hit the Panama Sunrise. They almost went into the corner, but it was perfectly executed. Beautiful. Match ends with Adam Cole. I can't remember what he hit, but he hit Dijakovic with something while they were both on the ladder, and then Dijakovic falls through the table and falls into the ladder that was set up almost like a table between the corner and the ladder that was set up in the middle of the ring, and breaks it. Adam Cole takes off the briefcase. Both heel teams now have advantage in the War Games matches, baby, on Saturday. And then we got another brawl. As Adam Cole is celebrating in the ring, Undisputed Era comes out to cheerlead him on the ramp, and they are cut off by Team SmackDown. Dijak should have only needed half a ladder, right? He's so tall. Team SmackDown, which consisted of the Revival, Cesaro, and Nakamura, cut them off from going into the ring. They're between Cole, who's in the ring, and the rest of Undisputed Era, who's on the ramp. Then behind them, the Raw superstars that showed up, which included Viking Raiders, Ricochet, and one other person who I am forgetting showed up. Then Undisputed Era just decides, okay, I guess it's a brawl then. Everybody starts brawling, fighting one another. And then Adam Cole and I believe Adam Cole and Dijak got involved. But then the big surprise is Adam Cole's still in the ring, and Seth Rollins shows up, beats out of Cole, stomps him, and then here's another match that I never thought I would want. I mean, I definitely want it, but I never thought it could happen, and I want it. Was Tommaso Ciampa came out. Tommaso Ciampa's music hit, comes out, goes in the ring. He's talking smack with Seth Rollins. They start brawling, and then the show abruptly ends where they're like, oh, just wait to see what happens on War Games and Survivor Series. Interesting way to end it. I believe it's because Rollins is heading Team Raw, Ciampa is heading Team NXT, and that, I think, 3-way Survivor Series matches going on. If that's a thing in Survivor Series, I think that's a thing. So yeah, that was the end of NXT, and if I'm rating it, AEW was great. Good wrestling. I think they might have had the better in between the bells wrestling tonight, which traditionally that goes to NXT, but tonight I think that goes to AEW. However, the better show overall has to go to NXT. They pulled out all the stops. They brought some of the biggest stars on the main roster onto the show, pulled out surprises galore, brawls galore. This was a go-home show for War Games and for Survivor Series, and they absolutely killed it. It's hard to beat a go-home pay-per-view show when that brand kills it. So AEW was great. Really, really good. I loved it. But NXT was just that much better. Just a slight little bit better. And as a result, everybody, through 8 weeks, despite a strong start from AEW, the Wednesday Night War in my scores is tied at 4 each. So we'll see who ends up taking the advantage going into Thanksgiving. The Wednesday Night War is tied, as Breezy said. They have to have pulled 1 million viewers in, right? I would hope so. I believe they teased a few hours ahead of time that Becky Lynch was going to be on the show, but we'll see. We'll find out when the ratings come through. But yeah, I got to give the win to NXT tonight. As far as match of the night is going to go to Undisputed Era versus The Revival. It started off slow, didn't know where it was going, and then they absolutely killed it. Silver for match of the night has to go to Nick Jackson versus Rey Fenix. That was just a hell of a hot opener. Much better than it had any reason to be. Though, when you look at the two guys who were in there, you understand why. Third match of the night, I believe, has to go to the main event of AEW, Allen versus Moxley. And then if you want me to, that's the bronze. If you want me to just fire off quick rankings for the rest of the show, 4 was Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. 5 I had Ricochet versus Matt Riddle. I initially had the main event of NXT at 6, but I think I might give it to Pride and Powerful versus Private Party at 6. Dijakovic versus Cole at 7. The Battle Royal on AEW at 8. Viking Raiders versus Forgotten Sons at 9. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give Kaylee Ray versus Dakota Kai 9. Viking Raiders versus Forgotten Sons at 10. And Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida at 11. We also have 3 other awards to give out. We have MVP of the night. I'm going to give an honorable mention because to Matt Travis because he because it's a tragedy what happened to him, and it was wonderful seeing that tribute to him by Private Party and Proud and Powerful. As for the MVP of the night proper, I'm giving that to Scorpio Sky and his absolute fire promo going toe-to-toe with Le Champion on the mic, holding his own and giving me a match for the AEW Championship. Again, I never knew I wanted, but I am super excited for and cannot wait to see next Wednesday night. Then we've got Moment of the Night. As good as that Jericho SCU promo was, as good as that Brawl at the end of NXT was, I gotta give it to Becky Lynch and her promo to start off, because I, going into this, did not know Becky Lynch was showing up on NXT. That was a huge shocker. And just to have the hottest star in all of WWE, potentially all of wrestling, show up to kick off the show and then have issue a challenge that was answered by Rhea Ripley, that's Moment of the Night. It's just it was so good. Had to give it to him. Honorable mention, obviously, we'll go to the Jericho promo. And then the Try Hard Moment of the Night, presented by Big Stupid. This is something one of my big mods and followers over on Twitch, Big Stupid, he wanted to make sure that this was part of the award, so I'm making the Try Hard Moment of the Night. This is one where this is an award for the moment of the night where I feel that the brand or people involved really, obviously, did try hard, tried their best to impress everybody watching at home on their devices. And that has to go to the Brawl at the end of NXT. Because look at the talent you had at the end of that night. All of Undisputed Era. So Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Roddy Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. I believe all 4 of those guys were ROH champions at one point. You've got Tommaso Ciampa. You've got Cesaro, The Revival, Viking Raiders, Ricochet, Nakamura, former NXT champion, Cesaro, Nakamura, former US champion. Same with Ricochet, Viking Raiders, current Raw Tag Team champions. The Revival, former Raw Tag Team champions and former SmackDown Tag Team champions, former NXT Tag Team champions, 2-time NXT Tag Team champions, and then Seth freaking Rollins, the greatest technically NXT champion of all time, you could argue, because of all the success he's done. The man, the other man. That's not Becky Lynch. That's not his fiance. So because they pulled out all the stops there at the end, Try Hard Moment of the Night, brought to you by Big Stupid, has got to go to the end of NXT. Nakamura? Yeah, not Zawa, Mura. Nakamura was on NXT. All right, guys, that's all the awards. That's the recap. That's my reaction to the Wednesday Night War edition for November 20th, 2019 on a Wednesday, because that's when the wars take place. We're all tied up, baby. Who's going to take the 5-4 lead going into Thanksgiving? We'll find out next week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're checking this out on VOD, especially on YouTube, be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Come on over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Murpho. Drop me a follow as well. Be a part of the chat and the conversation like Footballers and Breezy were for this one. Thank you. And also, yeah, like Footballers and Breezy, where I thought that Big Stupid was involved, but he did not activate the try hard command. That was actually Footballers. Thank you all. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any differing opinions, I welcome different opinions. Let me know. I want to hear what you guys think of the show. Let me know in the comments. Definitely open for conversation here and other people. Thank you all so much for watching. Until I see you again, peace, deuces, and I will catch you later.